Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going over some replays Stardragon has sent me of him countering the Dunlingr Dionel comp in Supreme Arena, which is a really strong comp a lot of people are running, even in Clash runs, and there's not really a lot of counterplay to it. However, he uses Maulers with Tasi, and it pretty reliably beats this opponent team. It isn't 100% win rate, and there are some different teams he's been trying more recently. But as you can see what he's written here, the core of the team is Lumont, Tasi, Rowan, Brutus. Basically, Brutus is going to be your frontline tank to buy time. Both Tasi and Lumont will be teleported into the enemy team with the Mauler buff tiles, and they're gonna be repeatedly killed because Dunlingr Dionel hits so hard that he's gonna kill pretty much everything, but Lumont will have another life due to taking for the first fatal hit, and Tasi will have plenty of additional lives. And the whole idea is that in the end you just have Tasi cast ultimate one time, and that is enough for her to solo the team. And usually because you know people run valorshield spell with Dionel, right? So we can just take a look at like what this replay is here and find the team that he used. Okay, here is the team. So people are going to be running valorshield spell, and after 10 seconds this spell is going to lose the effect of making the heroes unaffected, and then the hypnotization of Tasi is going to work. And with this team you just keep dying, and then in the end Tasi casts her ultimate and kills everything, and it's a pretty good game plan. And if you take a look at the Paragon upgrades, we have Paragon 2 Tasi on our side, but the opponent has even Paragon 3 Dionel, Paragon 2 Dunlingr, even a Burial here as well. And the other heroes, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Like Lumont is just for a bit more tanking and some crowd control, and Brutus is there like in the front. He could probably even work at one copy. Rowan usually ends up not doing anything, but if he can give the energy to Tasi, that's an advantage. So we're going to begin watching the replays. There are a lot that we're going to go through. So let's get right into replay number 1. So they both go into the enemy team, as you can see here. Soren just gets popped right away. Brutus is going to hang on for a while because of his invincibility. Dionel is going to go for his burst, but Tasi is invincible at this point. Because there's so many invincibilities with Tasi here. The 2 ones from her ability, as well as the 3rd one from the Mauler faction buff tiles. So the one does survive for a long time, which is really good. Normally he doesn't even survive that long. And now Tasi gets off her ultimate and it's game over. From this point, it's going to definitely kill the Dionel and every other support on the team. Even if the Dunlingr survives, there's nothing that Dunlingr can do against Tasi, because with the Supreme Plus of Tasi as well, she will have another invincibility proc after getting a kill or assist on an enemy. And so she's going to have plenty to deal with the Dunlingr here. Just wait for her other ultimate and going to clean up the Dunlingr. This is actually a team that could have potentially stalled it out, but then you have the Mauler buff tiles dealing that damage periodically, which is also going to help you kill the opponents. Okay, let's go on to the next replay that we have here. Next replay is using the same team against a slightly different version with a Scarlita with Dionel, so arguably even stronger than the previous one. And it is exactly the same team. Again, Soren doesn't matter, and I think if you watch that fight back, I don't know if Rowan actually gave energy to anyone or if he just got bursted. Now let's watch the Rowan. He's right over here. Yeah, Rowan's gonna get bursted before casting his ultimate, so he's not really even doing anything in the team. And Tasi's just gonna keep proccing her invincibility. There she goes for her ultimate, and it's over 10 seconds past. The valorshield spell has worn off. However, Dionel was in the air, so he wasn't targetable with the ultimate of Tasi. But then you have this damage, the area of effect damage from the Mauler buff tile, and that is going to clean up. Wow. So this was a bit of a risky one. I can definitely see how this one could have lost. But in the end, just Tasi has a crazy win potential. And I really like the Mauler buff tile effect because Tasi is always going to be right up close to a bunch of enemies. So every 5 seconds dealing this area of effect damage is just a damage boost on top. And resonating spell on the Tasi as well. We forgot to mention that. That is important because that allows her to charge her energy faster and also gives her an attack buff each time she casts her ultimate. Okay, against a similar team but Damien instead of Ludovic as the healer, we can take a look at this as well. But basically, it's just mix and match heroes. Just have Tasi with a bunch of Maulers and Brutus to tank out the front for a while. You know, I would honestly think like something like Damien would be better for this team, because then at least Damien can respawn himself, or even Scarlita. But I mean, he's probably using them on other teams. And so this is kind of like a budget team that can work. Now Tasi got a little bit low on health here, which that shows like there is some difficulty with surviving. So another team that he's been trying recently. Okay, we got off the Tasi ultimate, and that's going to be clean it up. It just cleans up everything. Look at the damage output from her. Scarlita can't knock off the Tasi from the battlefield because of all of her different like ways of bypassing that, like the immune to fail damage from the Mauler faction talents, and then also the her own ability. So for this comp, I think having the 30 faction talents for Mauler buff tiles is pretty important, because that is going to allow you to gain the final node of stage 3. We can actually take a look at his talents that he has here. He has that the prime carrier is immune to the first fatal blow they take. And that is pretty important, I think, for this comp. I think it can work without it, but that is probably the most important upgrade. The prime carrier being unaffected for the first 12 seconds of the battle, I don't think it really matters, because like Tasi's just keep getting her invincibility keeps getting procced. And so she's not actually going to like need to be unaffected until after 12 seconds. So that doesn't really matter. And then you just have stats from the upgrade. Like probably energy on hit is probably kind of an important stat, but I think it could work even if you're not really invested into the stage 4. So here we have another, or well, this was actually a fail, right? This was a fail, and when, okay, so now we have an example of a team failure. We can take a look at it just to see what went wrong, but probably I'm just gonna imagine that somehow the Tasi got one shot before she was able to cast her ultimate. Okay, this time Rowan into Dunlingr, I feel like is not good, because even if he survives long enough to charge up his energy, he still can't cast his ultimate. Okay, so what is that gonna happen here? It could also be that Tasi doesn't kill enough of the enemies and then they stall us out, like we saw at the beginning with that Dunlingr team. Okay, so we have our ultimate. We're waiting for the Bell of Order. Okay, she casts it, but it's not going to be enough to kill the opponents. She, I think, immediately got procced her invincibility while casting it, so she wasn't able to do her Dream Dance to dash back and forth, dealing the damage. So yeah, this shows that it's not a 100% team, but it is a pretty decent counter. And so it's still really a good thing to be able to show this team and to try it. Now, one thing he's trying now is Igor, which makes sense. Like, I'm like, it's better to have more heroes who can stall out, like the Rowan, because I was also noticing the Rowan doesn't make much sense. But here he did lose with the Igor, but he thinks potentially the Igor team will be like better on average, because like you're just looking for a hero which is going to stall better for your team basically. And Igor does that because he jumps around the map. But he still goes down. He still goes down pretty quickly. Like, he doesn't stall for that long. So I really think it would be Damien or Scarlita. I think Scarlita would be the best, but you can't afford to run Scarlita in this team because you're going to be running her in a different team. And over here, yeah, this is a team that he lost with Igor. And let's take a look at some more replays he has here. Okay. So here was the Maulers against, again, Dunlingr Dionel team. We can take a look at it again. But this kind of proves that it is pretty consistent. But it's just strange, because you feel like Rowan is not doing anything. There's got to be a better upgrade for him in this team. You need to have the 3 Maulers, so like definitely Brutus, Entendre, Lumont I think are the best. And Lumont on the buff tile is probably the best option because he has a lot of tankiness. He can knock up enemies, which buys time for you. So I like Lumont on the buff tile. But I'm just thinking maybe instead of Entendre there could be a better Mauler potentially. Although Entendre does give a shield to the frontline ally, which is Brutus, for survivability. And I think there would be something better than Rowan. Maybe even something like Lily May. But then you would probably want to use those heroes on other teams. Okay. Yeah, and now she's going to clean it up. But this really shows you, like, there are, because of Tasi's mechanics, the fact that if you can get her to cast her ultimate, she can almost solo an enemy team. She does really well in teams that are built around like stalling out the enemy, surviving the enemy's burst, and then having Tasi clean up at the end. So the Maulers are a great example of that. Okay, so we have one more final team here. It is Maulers into the Dunlingr Dionel Seth team. And these are all, pretty much all of these are against Paragon 3 Dionels as well. So this is not like an easy opponent we're facing. This is a top tier opponent. But he has told me that this is not a 100% clear team. So just keep that in mind. And also, for example, like on my server, I have a Supreme plus Tasi, not even Paragon. And then we have a Paragon 4, like Splash as a Paragon 4 Dionel. So I'm pretty sure, like, if I ran this comp, it wouldn't be a good idea. Because you're like 4 Paragon tiers down, and I think probably I would not be able to do it. But if your Tasi is invested, or if, for example, you're facing someone who has only up to like Paragon 2 heroes, then maybe this is a good option for you. But now look at Tasi clean up everything. Either way, this is just a great team, and this is also a team you can run on your defense, like Tasi with Maulers. As you can tell, it's so, like, it is just sticking to the board and has that solo potential at the end. This is a great team you can run for Clash Fronts, it's a great team you can run for Supreme Arena defense, and it's a great option on offense against a Dunlingr Dionel. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If we had to recap like the talents upgrades I would think are the most important, definitely I think this new skill effect, being immune to the first fatal blow they take, is important for this comp, and try to get all of the stats from this stage 2, like I have here. You don't have to go for the life drain, I don't think that's really that important, but like all of these other base stats are important. Stage 4, it's up to you. Like this one didn't really come into play much other than maybe on the launch. Like Tasi kept triggering her invincibility, that didn't really matter for her, and this the bonus stats you get on this higher tree are kind of minor in comparison to what you're getting here. Like you're getting 2%, and then 1.6%, and it's more expensive in stage 4. The energy on hit I think is nice. It can allow Tasi to charge up a little bit faster, but again, it's a really minor amount. It's not going to be as much as you think or as game changing as you think. So I think really if you could just get stage 3, get this final node, and then get these other stat upgrades, that would be enough for you to run this team effectively. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm not trying to go too far into the Mauler tree. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and big shout out to Stardragon for sharing the replays with us and the new team concept. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck if you want to try this team, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.